Okay guys, welcome back. So in the last video I explained about two examples in which integration is generally used, right? Integration, two examples where integration about the basic concepts of integration. So in this video and in the last video I explained to you about the indefinite integral, right? I didn't explain to you about examples of definite integral, so that I'll be doing in this video. I'll be explaining about two examples of using the definite integral. Now I actually explained to you about the definite integral in one of my previous videos, like in the theory part. Now what I'm doing here is just a revision of the concepts using two examples. I'll revise you about the definite integral. Alright, so my first example will be something like this. Integral from 2 to 3 5x squared plus 6x plus 7 dx, right? Something like this. So just a simple example. So what you do here is that first of all, in using the definite integral, you need to know that you don't have to include the c, right? The normal c that you have been using so far in the definite integral. So in the definite integral, as opposed to indefinite integral, what you have to do is that you have to eliminate that c because you get a finite value for this, right, within a range. So first of all, before actually substituting the values for the range given, you have to integrate this, right? So first of all, I will integrate this. So the first value will be from 2 to 3. So now first of all, now as I mentioned in my last video about the revision of basic concepts of integration, what you do is, if you have some function like this, and if you have addition or subtraction here, what you do is, as you get in the case of limits and differentiation and also integration, we have to do the integration separately. So I will do that as the first step. So this will be 5x squared dx plus from 2 to 3 6x dx plus from 2 to 3 7 dx, right? 7 dx. So what you do is, now with this revision video, what you do is that you put square brackets here, and you put the lower limit here at the lower position and the upper limit here, and in this, within this square bracket, you put the integration of this term using x dx. Alright, so integration of this term is 5 times, so x squared integral, right? The integration of x squared using x is equal to x cubed by 3 plus, now this is the first term, this is the first definite integration. The second definite integration of this is the second term, so this is the second definite integration. So similarly, I put square brackets here. So from 2 to 3, so the integration of 6x using x is 6 times x, integration of x is x squared divided by 2 plus, similarly here, you have to put the square brackets from 2 to 3, its integration will be 7, the integration of 7 is 7x. So here will be 3x squared. I can cancel these 2 and 6 for 3. So what I'll do here, if you get something like this, in the case of definite integral, what I'll do is that you have to substitute the value of the upper limit in place of the value of x or any other variable here, x or y or a or some variable you get here, and you have to get that value. Similarly, you have to get the value for the lower limit, and you have to subtract the value you got, the definite value you got for the upper limit from the definite value you got for the lower limit. So what actually happens is that first of all you have to substitute the value of 3 in place of x and find the definite part for the upper limit. Alright. So for this function, for this part, what actually happens is that the upper limit will be 3. So you have to substitute 3 in place of x. So it will be 3 cube, so that is 27. So 27 times 5 divided by 3 will be so 27 times 5 by 3, so 27 by 3 is equal to 9, right? So that will be 9 times 5, which is 45, minus, so that is 2 to the power 3 is 8 divided by 3 times 4, so that will be 8 times 5 is 40, so that will be 2 cube 8, 40 by 3, 40 by 3, right? So plus, similarly for this part you have to substitute 3 in place of x and 2 and find the upper limit, and then subtract the lower limit by substituting 2 in place of x. So it will be 3 times x squared is 3 squared, so 3 squared times 3 is 3 cube, which is 27. So the upper limit will be 27 minus the lower limit will be 3 times 2 squared, so 2 squared is 4, 4 times 3 is 12, it will be 12 plus 7 times x, the upper limit is 3, so the upper limit of this part will be 7 times 3, which is 21, minus 7 times 2, the lower limit will be 7 times 2, which is 14.